Here's a tutorial for how to use the Bevy Mesh Terrain Editor. First, you're going to clone the GitHub repo. Then you're going to go into Assets, Doodad Manifest, and you're going to edit these doodad definitions. These are basically your doodads are going to be placing in your scene. So, for example, you can see I have trees, and you can assign a name and a model. Typically, you're going to use GLTF model here, but there are other options you can see in the examples, like a cube shape. And you're going to see the ability to place all these doodads in your scene. You can also assign initial custom props, which will show up. And those are just the initial props for you. Once you're done setting up your doodad manifest, you're going to boot up the editor, and it'll look like this. So right mouse button held down will let you move the camera, WASD to move around as well. You'll be able to edit the terrain, height, splat, and regions. So to do like a splat edit, you're going to move the brush radius and hardness. You're going to select the texture you want, so let's say stone roots, and you can just start painting. And make sure, there we go. Alright, and then your height is pretty self-explanatory. That's a similar type of situation. Okay, so now press escape if you want to add doodads. And the way this works is you can create zones. So I'm going to create my first zone. So this is just a node, an empty node, and basically I'm going to right click on it and say set as primary zone. Now I can go to doodads, and if there are doodad definitions, so we're going to click on the doodads tab, and you can see all of our doodads from the manifest are in this big list here. So let's pick one that we want to place, such as stone pile, and you'll see it kind of a ghost version of it here. And place it, and we should see that in our scene. And we can also place another one, let's say cavern tree dead. Okay, so now in our hierarchy we should see those have been placed in our zone, my first zone. So now what we can do is we can do right click, save zone file. You have to do this, and now you'll see in the terminal exported zone. Okay, so now what you can do is you can actually close the editor now, and if you go to zones, you'll see my first zone, and it is saying that we have these entities named stone pile 1 with a transform and with a custom props, and we have another one, cavern tree dead, transform, and some custom props. If you do want to edit the custom props, all you have to do is click on the doodad, go to custom props component, and then you can basically add one. So I can add a string called type special, and then I'll call it like tree. Alright, and then there's different types you could use as well if you want to. And those get saved into that file, which basically that file, the zone file, it's yours to do whatever you want with. You typically would copy that and paste that into your game files and then use it to build your scene in the game in a similar way. And then the other thing I wanted to cover was, oh yes, so T. This is like this is basically the editor PLS. So you can use T to move things around, S to scale things, and R to rotate things. And of course the transform in your zone file will be edited based on those three properties as well as the custom props component. And if you, there's some other little tips and tricks, like Control D will clone something, and you'll see that. And you can set randomize yaw so that things will be spun around in different ways. And that is Bevy Mesh Terrain Editor.